apparently somebody was dubbed the pooping perpetrator. He broke into a Joe's Crab Shack. He broke into a Joe's Crab Shack in Fort Myers.
In Fort Myers.
At 2:30 a.m.
Oh my God.
I can't believe.
Real FERM. He's the realest.
So, we're in the state of Florida.
Yes.
And you were born and raised in Florida.
I was actually born in North Carolina.
Oh, I totally forgot. I think I remembered. I learned that, forgot it. And then when did your parents move to Florida?
We moved to Florida when I was like a year old or so. And then my brother and sister were both born here.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're Florida crackers.
I was born in Florida, in Clearwater, and my family moved when I was 6 months old, so I have no Florida raising experience, but I was born here. Anyway, there's some fun things we would love to talk about here.
Oh yeah.
The classic Florida man news, you've heard about it, of course.
Oh, of course.
And so there's some funny ones. First off, Florida man charged with battery after slapping police horse's butt.
That's the headline?
That's the headline.
Man.
He slapped the butt of a police horse, and it was charged with a misdemeanor.
That's ridiculous.
St. Petersburg, 27-year-old Alicia Lalani was charged with battery on a police horse after he slapped a police's horse butt with an open hand around 2 a.m. on Saturday. 2 officers were patrolling the area on horseback. Why were they on horseback? Is this New York City?
Yeah.
I didn't know they did this in St. Petersburg.
They have horse cops in St. Pete?
I guess so.
They must have upgraded.
I haven't
from
been
their
there
bicycles.
in a minute. Shit.
Could you imagine, that's crazy. It's funny, though, like, journalism today is so shitty. Like, it says in the headline that she's,
There's some good ones out there.
There are some good ones, but a lot of them are
mainstream.
A lot of them just have, like, stupid information that doesn't need to be there. Like, for example, in the article where it states, slap the horse with an open hand. Like, that's what a slap is.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's what you slap.
Like, if your hand's closed,
you could do a backhand.
Pimp slap the horse.
No, it was specifically open hand, like
open hand, slap
sexual.
the horse. Sexually.
That's probably what they were thinking.
She sexually
I'm gonna slap
slapped
this horse's ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this horse.
And then,
but if your hand's closed when you swing your arm, it's a punch. If it's open, it's a slap. It could be a backhand slap, indicating if it was a slap or a backhand slap is one thing. But to have to add that the hand was open.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Oh shit! I just broke off my pencil.
They wanted to be more explained. I don't know. But he was
crazy.
promptly arrested after striking the animal, and he wasn't under the influence of alcohol or drugs.
Oh my gosh.
That is wild.
They must have upgraded from bike cops, because could you imagine being chased down by a cop on a bicycle?
It happens.
That'd be embarrassing.
No, that's never happened to me.
Not me either. I've never been put in handcuffs, but...
Hold on. So here's the thing about the open. This is a quote. The defendant walked up behind my partner, who was also riding a horse. I observed the defendant then, with his open hand, slap the rear of my partner's police horse. So they included it because the cop himself said, with the open hand.
With the open hand, slap the horse's ass.
With his open hand. That's funny.
Crazy.
A misdemeanor.
Oh my gosh.
God damn.
For slapping
he was arrested
a
on
horse.
charges including sexual activity with an animal after he had sex with a dog in front. Oh, it's the same guy.
It's the same guy?
I have another one that we're going to... Okay, that's a perfect transition. We might as well go right to that.
Wow.
So apparently this is the same guy that had sex with a dog in front of a nativity scene. What is that even?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
So this dude...
So same guy. I did not see this coming.
It's funny, though, because it's not sex, it's rape. Because a dog can't consent to reproducing
that is
with
true.
a human being. But look at that guy. You got to put that guy's picture on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Any
second now, this
the
loser's face is going to be right for you to see. This guy
and he did the thing before.
This guy looks like he would fuck a dog. in front of baby Jesus. Merry Christmas.
A Florida man
And
has
of course,
been... What?
well, of course, now there is a sexual connotation to him slapping the horse's ass, because
That's
the
right.
reason they probably charge him with a misdemeanor is the risk to the life and limb of the officer.
This is before he did this. I mean, this is after he did this, I guess. When
After he
slapped
did the
the
dog.
horse's ass.
Yeah,
A Flor-
because the risk though is that if you slap a horse, because I've worked with horses before and they spook easy.
Yeah,
So
it
if you
could
slap a horse on the ass, it could rear up, it could kick, it could haul, it
But
could
it was
run.
police horse, so that was
I mean, they're
the problem.
trained, and it's a police horse.
Anyway, he was arrested after having sex with a dog in front of people, damaged a church nativity scene, and attempted to steal a vehicle. On Sunday, police in Clearwater, where I was born, arrested 36-year-old Chad Mason on charges including sexual activity with an animal, exposing sexual organs, and criminal mischief to a place of worship. He was walking a golden doodle owned by someone he knows at approximately 4:30 when he publicly had sex with the dog in front of witnesses, including a child who
Oh
was
my
younger than
God.
16. When he was approached by one of the witnesses, he reportedly fled the scene and began to wreak havoc in the surrounding areas. I don't believe this. It's from complex media. It seems...
Is that
Oh, the New York Post commented on it too.
That's insane. So this maniac, were there drugs involved? Please tell me there were drugs.
I don't know yet.
If this
but
guy's sober,
I thought this
raped a
I
dog
didn't-
in front of a child at a church in front of a baby Jesus
The
nativity scene. Oh my God. And then he gets released from prison, and the first thing he does is slap
Oh.
a horse's ass.
When he was confronted by some at the apartment complex there, he ran from the scene and began to wreak havoc. He was walking the dog without permit, whatever. He allegedly ran to the Presbyterian church nearby where he broke potted plants, tossed around children's toys, knocked over a nativity scene. When he left the church, he also damaged a nearby mailbox, whatever. He cost $400. Well, okay, whatever. Pinellas County Jail. The fucking the dog in public is really wild.
That's insane.
A poor snickerdoodle. What was it?
Golden doodle.
Golden doodle.
That's like a golden doodle.
That's
like a
fucked
poodle
up.
golden retriever. So that's like a 50-pound dog.
I can't even picture
Like-
what you're just in a street and there's people around.
He's just walking the dog, and he
you
like just.
get the urge to fuck it in the street.
That's insane, dude. Like, why would you even want to fuck a dog? First of all,
Chad Mason, what the
Chad
fuck?
Mason. That is the name of a man.
I
who
can't even
sounds
believe what I just read,
like he
even though
would
I
have sex
already
with a
knew.
dog. That's crazy.
Chad Mason.
Let me see his face again.
This guy.
Look at that guy.
It's really weird.
You can tell because of how wide set his eyes are and how low his eyebrows are in comparison to his nose. That guy's a fucking mongoloid. He's like, the
Maybe
dog.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's in another one of these articles.
He
at
might
this
be.
point. He's already been the first
slapping
two.
the horse, having sex with a dog.
Well,
Ties right into the next one there. That's crazy, dude.
wait, which one?
The guy that pooped
Oh, yeah.
after a break-in.
Yeah. How does that tie in, though?
I don't know. Maybe the same guy. Though.
Oh, that would be funny.
That would be nuts.
Yeah, so apparently, that was wild. Apparently, somebody was dubbed the pooping perpetrator.
Pooping perpetrator.
He broke into a Joe's Crab Shack. He broke into a Joe's Crab Shack in Fort Myers.
In Fort Myers.
At 2:30 a.m.
Oh my God.
I can't believe. Oh, this is great. He allegedly climbed through a small window that he broke prior to stealing multiple items, including alcohol, and defecating on the floor prior to leaving. He also stole a Joe's Crab Shack hat off a shelf and wore it as he walked around the restaurant.
Wow.
It's open at 2:30. Maybe it's a late. I've heard that name. It's like a
Joe's Crab Shack. No, they closed at like 11 o'clock. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were closed.
Fort
All
Myers
the crabs,
Police Department
those
released
poor
4
crabs
pictures.
that had to witness that.
Well, they never caught him. They're releasing videos and pictures hoping someone can identify him. Can you obtain forensic DNA from what he left behind? One person asked.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like pictures of him busting through Joe's Crab Shack. So it was empty, but he was parading around.
To that other one? The one in color.
And he shit on the floor.
I want to interview this guy.
That would be...
I want this guy. I
That would
wouldn't
be
let him. I wouldn't
wild.
let him where we normally record. We'd have to like meet him at a
Yeah.
Starbucks or something. But I want to know what got that. He was probably fucking hammered though. Just broke into a Joe's Crab Shack 2:30 in the morning.
Through a window.
First thing he does is put on a hat.
No, that was. I think that was maybe one of the last things. I don't know. Maybe. But just keep,
Steals a hat, shits on the floor
shit's on the floor
like an animal. That's
like an animal.
and it's like, come on, man! Like you literally leave DNA
Fort
at the
Myers.
scene.
Fort Myers is a pretty decent area. Pretty
most
decent
of
city.
it is. There's some
I guess it's
areas
a big.
in there.
Yeah, it's a big. Yeah,
It's a big city.
Joe's Crab Shack though. God damn.
There's one right at Clearwater Beach. They
Yeah,
have really
it's a
good
fine
crab.
establishment.
It is, man. Just imagine, like you're the opening manager. You're working like 75 hours a week. You come into work, there's glass all over the floor, a big pile of shit. And you're just like, what the fuck is this? I gotta check the cameras. Check the cameras. Some guys walk around like, oh yeah, no Crab Shack. Oh my god, how crazy!
I can't imagine.
Come on, Florida.
The Florida,
Come
the
on,
things
Florida.
that happen in Florida are just completely wild.
The people in our community need to really do better. We got people fucking dogs, slapping horses' asses.
Same guy,
Same guy. Breaking into restaurants, shitting on the floor. Different guy.
different guy.
I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, there's some, but we got some really. Some of them are pretty dark.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty wild. We can There's this one's pretty funny. There,
That's another Florida story?
yeah, they're all Florida stories.
They're all Florida stories.
Those are just like the Florida man ridiculous stories.
Oh, yeah, Florida man. One of my favorite things I hear, I don't remember what radio show does it, but they're like, it's like a Florida man challenge, and they like read headlines.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have to
I've
guess if
heard
it
that
happened in Florida,
many.
if it's Florida or not Florida or something. But that's wild, man. I can't believe that shit.
Yeah, I can't. I'm still processing that information. What's the one? Oh, I want to see this. So apparently some guy broke into an apartment gym, a complex, and then like went into the gym, which I can kind of relate to because I've been in an apartment complex where there's a gym.
Yeah.
And he just broke, and he starts
to use,
attacking
like, a key card.
this girl in the gym. What Hillsborough County? So it must be Tampa.
That's the guy? Oh, man, he looks like he's a crackhead. Come on.
Yeah. Wait, what? Wait, his name is Detroit. Oh, in a Detroit Wings jersey. Where was it? I can't find where. But he. Oh, yeah, Tampa. And there's a video of him like attacking. But she fights him back really hardcore. She's like punching his face.
Yeah, we'll have to link the video in.
Of course. Yeah. They're watching it right now.
He's trying to put her in like a full mount or something.
Yeah, what is going on?
He's just on top of her. He looks like he's like trying to bite
but
her.
she keeps like smacking him in the face or something like that.
Now he's like straddling her face. He got his sweaty crackhead
Oh my
dick all
god.
over her body.
Jesus Christ.
Look at that.
She
just like fucking.
This is insane.
And she got off, ran off.
She's just trying to get out of there at that
Coming
point.
back. An apartment complex. I mean, these things are supposed
That's
to be
wild.
like fucking locked. You have to have a little key to get in.
Yeah, the one
That's
that I was
crazy.
in was that
I'm
way.
gonna tell you right now. If I'm at the gym working out, you ever watch The Punisher, the TV show?
No.
Oh, it's great. But if I'm in a gym working out, I'm telling you right now, and someone tries to attack me, it's like I train jujitsu, I train boxing, I do all that shit. But if someone tries to attack me at the gym, I'm just gonna grab a 5-pound plate weight and I'm gonna bash their fucking head in with
but
it.
then you're gonna be in court for second-degree murder,
If I kill 'em.
perhaps. Yeah, if you bash him with a barbell, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like a kettlebell
Or
or a plate weight.
Yeah, like a plate.
Like
Yeah,
a 5-pound plate.
crack some. That's how Jeffrey Dahmer was killed in prison.
Yeah, killed
By-
by weights.
Yeah, you haven't seen the Netflix series?
No.
Oh, it's so good,
With,
and it's true to the
Was that
to
Zac
that one.
Efron in that?
No, it's Evan Peters.
Oh,
Great from American Horror Story.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
He's so good. It's
He is
so
good.
disturbing, but it's so amazing.
I'm gonna have to watch that now.
Yeah, and the way he dies is his cellmates. It kind of is a spoiler, but it's public knowledge for a long time. His cellmates, or a cellmate, like kills him and another inmate in the gym with he like beats their heads or something with gym the guard like leaves or something.
It would
like
definitely kill you pretty quickly. I'm just saying, if I was like a 97-pound, 100-pound woman and some crackhead looking guy,
some crackhead.
We'll have to put his face up for you to see. Of course. If a guy that looks like this attacked you in a gym, you gotta fight. You gotta fight back. Like she did the right thing, 100%. And then as soon as she was able to, she just ran the fuck away, which is the right thing to do. But that's crazy, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, at least it was a clean getaway. Maybe she has some scratches or something.
Well, I'm sure she got some damage. That's just absolutely bonkers.
I know. The way they were scrapping on the floor.
Yeah, he was on top of her for
like,
sure. She had some form of a little bit of self-defense training because she didn't. I mean, she kept him off of her pretty well, but still.
But they were like.
It looked like he was like biting her face,
like they were about
salt,
to,
like bath salts.
Something was happening.
Don't do bath salts. They're not good for you.
Yeah, I did. It didn't indicate what the situation with him was. I think because he just left. Maybe I don't know. I didn't. It was a lot of stuff, other stuff in there. But yeah, that's a fun time. So before the break, we can do one more. Clearwater medics disciplined after dead patient found to be breathing once again in the city I was born, Clearwater, Florida. 2 Clearwater fire and rescue paramedics will not be allowed to treat patients for a while after a man they pronounced dead was found to be breathing.
How do you fuck that up? Like how do you do that? You go like this. You feel for a pulse. If you don't find one there, you feel for here. If you don't find one there, you take the equipment in your expensive ass fire truck or ambulance and you check them. I mean, Jesus Christ, you just take a fucking mirror and you put it here. Oh, he's breathing. He's not dead. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So
how do you mess that up?
So he was said that he had a cardiac arrest. Medics pronounced the 65-year-old patient dead shortly after their arrival. They left the area. Largo fire rescue crews were called to the home after the deputy discovered the man was still breathing. After 28 minutes elapsed between the initial call and Largo's medics' arrival, Clearwater Fire and Rescue. The man was taken to the hospital. He was still recovering. So he did have cardiac arrest, but he didn't die. But they pronounced him dead, and now they're not. They are out of a job. I think they put him. They suspended. I don't think they
suspended,
fired
retrained.
him.
I mean, come on.
They might have fired him.
If you can't tell the difference between someone's alive or dead, you shouldn't be trying to save people's lives. I mean, like hello.
I mean, maybe sometimes there's weird things that happen, and like they were probably just like negligent, but maybe sometimes people seem like they're dead, and then
I mean it happens. Like
they're in the DMT zone, and then they get sucked out for some reason because the DMT and the elves say you go back now, and
go back.
The medics are like, you were dead for like 10 minutes. What the fuck?
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy.
But it said they were disciplined.
As they should be.
They will not be allowed to treat patients for a while, it says. That's not a clear sentence.
They've got to be on like at least a 3-month suspension and retraining minimum, I'd imagine. I mean, that's nuts. That's nuts. Like, how do you not, I mean, I've encountered a few dead bodies before, but I've never encountered anybody in like, well, no, that's not true. I have encountered a few people in extreme trauma, and they can die.
Sucks.
Like when I was coming back from my honeymoon, this happened in Florida. We were on our way down. I think we were near like, where the hell were we? We were somewhere in Citrus County. But what happened was this guy who was hammered drunk veered into oncoming traffic and had a head-on collision with a Honda Civic.
Oh, shit.
It was bad. His car was smoking everything. So I see that these 2 cars are just fucked. So I pull over. A couple other people have pulled over. It was like a retired Army medic that was there. A firefighter that was off duty was there, thankfully. And I'm there. So I go over to the little black Toyota Celica. And the guy's like drooped over like this. bleeding out of his face. And as soon as I get to the car, it reeks like alcohol.
Oh.
He has like 4 or 5 Corona beers empty on the floorboard, shattered now. He had a Corona beer that he was drinking that was spilled all over him.
Jesus
and
Christ.
He's just sitting there like this, bleeding, and he's just trying to turn the car over.
He's still trying. He's still
and his
moving.
Car,
God.
and his car's smoking. There's gasoline leaking, so I reach into his car and I take his keys out. And I'm like, sir, you've been involved in a head-on collision. Don't move. And he's just like, oh, he's on the Daniel. Doesn't speak English.
Oh, you made him sound Mexican.
He was.
Oh, okay.
And
just confirming.
He's rotting in prison now, as he deserves, because he was a piece of shit. He was drunk. He smashes into this car, and then as I'm looking around his car, like not searching his vehicle, but as I'm looking around to see, like, okay, like, is there anyone else in the vehicle with him? Is anyone else hurt here? What's going on? There's all these little crystals like this big all over his backseat, crystal meth.
They were just scattered about the seat?
Yeah, they fell out of a shoebox. There was a shoebox.
A shoebox
there was
filled with meth?
a Nike shoebox.
Big crystals?
Yeah, big, like
Ooh,
shards. Fucking my thumb. Shards of crystal meth all over his backseat.
That's like dealer stuff.
Oh yeah, all over his backseat.
Mexican meth dealer.
Yep, Mexican meth dealer, MMD.
Damn.
And it's all over his backseat. So I'm like, well, fuck this guy. He can die. I don't give a shit. He's drunk. Like,
the cops weren't called at this point?
They were. Well, so the fire trucks and ambulances had not shown up yet, but they had been called because my wife was on the phone with 911 and they had already gotten like 7 phone calls. So I'm like, well, screw this bastard. He's drunk. So I run over to the other car where the army guy and the fire guy are, right? So in the front seat, there's a guy and a girl. No, I'm sorry. So in the front seat, the driver's side was crushed. Front airbag deployed, side airbags deployed. There's a girl in the front seat, airbag deployed. The firefighter has his fingers like this in her hand, and he's like, "Hey, you need to keep squeezing my fingers, and keep looking at me."
This is
he's
rough.
trying to keep her conscious. Back seat, there's another girl. It's her twin sister. They were 20 years old. And then in the back passenger seat, there was a redheaded kid. And he was out of the car walking around. He was like scratched up. His face was all bruised and smashed up. And he was out of the car. So when I walk up to the car, there's the redheaded guy who was 19 years old. The passenger girls were both 20 and they were twins. And, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm like the driver of the car got out of the car. And seems to be okay because all the airbags deployed, and he's like, "Oh, we got to get him out," you know. And he's like all in shock. He's like he's talking nonsense. So the girl in the front seat passes out, and the girl in the back seat, she's like, "Is my sister okay? Is my sister okay?" So the firefighters get there, cops get there, right? So the cops talking to the kid. One of the cops comes up to me, and I said, "Listen, this asshole that hit them." I'm like, I'm pretty sure
this is so fucked up.
He has a lot of crystal meth in his car.
Oh my God.
And the cop was like, what? And I was like, dude, go look. There's literally hundreds of these little crystals, like 1.5 inches long, excuse me, all over his back and front, everywhere in the car.
Spilled out of his shoebox.
And, yeah, out of the shoebox. And he's hammered drunk. You can smell alcohol on him. You can smell alcohol in the car. I said, I took his keys. They're on the hood of his car. Or on the roof of his car, because he was sitting there trying to turn the ignition and his car's leaking gasoline. He's going to fucking blow everybody up.
Right. This is so wild.
No, it gets crazier. So the firefighters get there, and they manage to get the girl in the back seat out. So the girl in the back seat, her right thigh had the bone sticking out of it. The bone was sticking out of her leg.
No, thank you.
And her knee was twisted around the wrong way.
No.
So she's screaming. She's screaming. They get her on a gurney. They get her in an ambulance. They have to use the jaws of life to cut the passenger door off the front, and they're getting the other girl out. Both of her legs are completely broken.
What the
Like
fuck?
they pulled this girl out, and her legs are like
Okay,
just dangling, dude. So
we take a break, and we will be literally right back to finish that very interesting story.
Yes, it gets worse, but we will finish it momentarily.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. So, the last thing we were talking about was dangling legs.
Yes, dangling legs.
And I just want to preface that I have literally never heard the story before, and
I can't believe I've never
genuinely
told you this.
disturbed and blown away.
Yeah, I can't believe I've never told you this story. I think you might have been in New York. You were still in New York.
You said you were coming back from your honeymoon. Yeah.
I was coming back from my honeymoon, witnessed this horrific car crash. And
go back to, because it's right from when you were talking about the dangling legs.
So you've got the redheaded driver. He's being tended to by the army medic. Firefighters tending to the girl, and I was tending to the other girl in the back seat. So EMS, police show up. They get the girl out of the back seat first. Her leg was all fucked up, bone sticking out, as I said. And then they get the second girl out of the front, and her legs are just fucked up. Like, they're totally broken. Her face is all smashed in. She had a lot of swelling in the chest, internal bleeding probably going on. So then, and this is where it gets really bad.
Oh my God.
So the kid that was driving the car, because the cops got there and they were talking to him. And they're like, well, what's going on? He was in total shock. She's like, oh, we're driving. We're just driving.
We were just driving.
And the guy, he hit us. The guy. And that guy. And he's like pointing at the fucking meth dude. So
the meth dude.
So then, now I'm telling you, the front of this car was so crumpled. Me, the army medic, and the firefighter did not notice that the kid that was talking to the cops wasn't the driver
of the car that got hit.
He was in the back.
Okay.
The driver was still in the car.
Oh my God!
In the front fucking seat. So this is where it gets fucked up. So he snaps out of it, and he's like, "My brother was driving. My brother was driving."
Oh shit!
He had a twin brother. So there's two sets of twins that were dating each other.
Right.
19 years old, these boys. 20 years old, the girls.
Insane.
So he's like, your brother's driving. And the cop's like, get the jaws of life. Get the jaws of life. We got another passenger in the car. So the fucking firefighters come out. They get the jaws of life. They're cutting the door open. Yeah, they're cutting the door open. Now, God. Listen. So they pop the airbags. And this kid, and I'm standing like, if this is the car, right? You've got front driver, front passenger, and then the back. So I'm standing here and I can see through the back windows. The firefighters get to this kid and he's just moaning. He's like,
this is so disturbing.
It's so bad. So they're like, listen, we have to move you. We have to get you out of this car. They grab this guy and pull him out. And I literally watch.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I literally watch. I'm laughing because fucked up situations. I don't like to cry, so I shield it with laughter. So they start to pull this kid out of the car, and from his right knee down, I literally see all the tendons of his leg, mangled leg, like ground beef, like stretch and just start snapping off at the knee. No. They pull this kid out. He's missing a half of his right leg. They get him on the gurney. They apply a tourniquet. And I start hearing this sound that I've never heard a human being make in my life. He's on the gurney. He's on the gurney. And he's just moaning and loudly. I won't do it as loudly as he was. And I can't replicate it because I'm not in an extreme state of trauma. But he's like... over and over, and then all of a sudden it's just like this. He goes and it just stops. So they get him on the ambulance, and while this is going on, the kid that realized his brother was driving, he's on his knees crying. The cop behind him literally has his hand on his head like this, and he's standing behind him because the kid's trying to turn around and look, and the cop's like, don't look. He's like, do not look at your brother like this. Don't look. And he's blocking his sight. And I watched this kid's leg get ripped off.
Oh,
they
my
throw him on the gurney.
God.
He's moaning, and then dead silence. So they get him on they get him on the ambulance. They get the other kid in another ambulance, and they take him away. And I go up to the police officer, and I was like, do you need a statement, a witness statement, anything like that? And he goes, no. He goes, there was a death involved. So that kid fucking died.
His leg was ripped off.
His leg was
and
ripped
bled
off.
to death, probably.
Well, he died from the trauma and the shock. And I mean, the amount of damage his body and
If
brain
your leg
suffered.
gets ripped off,
I mean, he
would
wasn't
think
even speaking, dude. It was just noises coming out of this kid.
That's
so
disturbing.
And he died. Like, I saw him die on the gurney as they were getting him into the ambulance. The moment just stopped.
Wild.
Nuts, dude.
That's a lot to process.
I know. It's nuts. Chris, my wife, she had nightmares about it for months.
Months.
Because the thing was, we were on our way home, and we stopped at the gas station, and, you know, I smoke cigarettes, which she hates, and I'm like, oh, just let me smoke a cigarette. We got like 4 hours left to drive. I don't want to have to stop, you know. And we kind of got into a little bit of a, you know, disagreement about me having a cigarette. And it's like, if we hadn't stopped when we did, like, we could have been hit head on by that guy. And she was pregnant still. Like, my baby wasn't even born yet.
Damn.
And dude, I mean, it was brutal, man. It was really fucked up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that kid died. I mean, Jesus,
That's
dude.
a
Can you imagine, like,
whole
just
scene.
having a great day with your girlfriend and your brother and his girlfriend, and then it's all just ripped away from you.
Oh
And,
my God.
like,
This
just
is
like that.
so dark.
Gone. Just because some dumbass wants to fucking drink and drive, and also drive around with enough meth to put him away for life.
The meth. I keep
the
forgetting
thing
about
is,
the meth.
like, once and again, in the beginning of this, I said I ran up to his car first just to check on him. And then as soon as I found the alcohol and he was fucked up and I saw all the meth, I looked this guy right in his eyes and I said, you know, I hope you die. And if you don't die, you're going to die in prison.
Oh my God.
And I'm glad I said that to him because, you know, he killed a kid, basically. He killed a 19-year-old kid.
He caused a bad
He caused
scene.
a bad wreck. He totally ruined 4 people's lives completely because he wanted to be a selfish piece of shit. So that's that story.
Well, we've inadvertently discovered a real Florida story
That wasn't in the news.
from first eyewitness.
I looked for weeks.
It never got in the news.
I looked for weeks.
Maybe
about
he
the
was a high
intersection.
profile. No, because they
everything.
would have taken him down.
I looked in the.
But you
I looked
saying
up
he's
the
in jail?
I'd imagine it. I'd imagine that he's in prison. Or
You just left, like, you left the scene after you didn't like stay.
I didn't
you just,
stay
like,
any
you
after.
left.
After I asked the
You were
police if
trying-
they needed a statement, they said no because there was a death involved, and
And you just rolled out.
and they were like, you're free to go. We need you to clear that. We need you and the others to clear the scene because there was a death involved. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
I looked for weeks, dude. I looked up the intersection. I looked up the time of the day that it happened, the date that it happened. There was never anything printed. Probably because of the, how gruesome it was. I mean, they don't print everything that happens. And I found out too that one of my coworkers at my old job, he was like a couple weeks ago, he was just involved in a head-on car accident. He got thrown from his truck. Like 20
Yeah, that
feet.
shit happens all the time.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, yeah, but to see it is first person like that, that is gnarly.
Yeah.
I can't to have happened to you. I don't even want to go there.
Yeah. I saw it, man. Like, I didn't see the wreck, but I saw the aftermath. Like, it must have just happened. Because when I got there and I pulled off, the other 2 guys were just getting out of their trucks. So like, it happened seconds before.
Yeah,
I
so
rolled
you didn't
up
see
there.
it like
I didn't
happen.
see
You
the
just saw
collision.
the
I just saw the aftermath of the
aftermath.
collision, and then everything that happened post that
Yeah,
situation. I mean,
that's disturbing as
crazy.
fuck.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really follow yours, but I saw I think it was the Howard Franklin. I was driving home in a rental car. Nothing happened to me, but I was driving home over the bridge, and this like I'm driving. There's one car in front of me, and then there's a truck in front of me, and then I see like a wheel like just drift off in the other lane as I'm driving. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then this guy like does a full 180. I guess his wheel fell off, and he did a full 180 and just smashed head on into the other guardrail.
Oh God.
Of the bridge or whatever. And I saw the airbag go off through the window, and I like as I'm driving by, I'm like, oh my fucking God.
Dude, we got another crazy
I don't know what
one.
happened to him. I saw someone pull over, so I was like, I don't know if I can handle this right now.
Yeah, dude.
That's,
I've seen
I didn't see
a
anything
lot of
else.
crazy shit. Like, I remember one time, this was back when I was like 22, 23 maybe. So I'm on my way down to Pasadena, which is like south of St. Pete.
There's a Pasadena, Florida?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So I think it's called Pasadena. I'm
It's
pretty
past St. I thought St. Pete was the end.
sure. It's like the southernmost
Like a
point.
part of St. It's like a suburb
it's like,
or whatever
it's
of
like
St. Pete.
slightly south of St. Petersburg.
Sure.
Like right before the Sunshine Skyway.
Okay.
Or it's near Seminole. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. But I'm on my way down there. I was going to hang out with a couple of my buddies at this girl's house that he was dating her or something. So I was on my way down there to hang out with them. It's like 3 a.m. So I'm going down there.
You're starting to hang out at 3 a.m?
Yeah, like so we were hanging out like all night, and then my buddy went back to her place, and then I'm single at the time, so she was like, "Hey, my friend's coming over. She thinks you're cute. Do you want to come hang out?" And I was just like, "Yo, I'll ride out, whatever." So I'm on my way down there. It's like 2:30, 2:45. I'm on 275, and then one of the things that freaks me the fuck out is when you're driving and you've got a semi truck on either side of you.
Oh yeah, that's
sketchy.
I just get out. I get out as fast as I can, however I can.
I don't care how tough you are.
I don't want to sit around in
You're
that.
in a car and you got 2 semis on either side of you. It's not a very fun feeling. So I'm driving. These semis are next to me, and I slow down because I'm just like, I don't want to be between them. So I slow down and I get behind the one on the right. And behind me, about a quarter mile back, there's a guy on some crotch rocket.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So he comes flying up. He comes flying up the middle lane. And again, this is one of those things where I didn't stop.
Yeah.
But he comes flying up the middle lane, and the semi truck gets over. So
Doesn't see him.
He comes over. The bike, and I stomp my brakes. I slow down as quickly as I can.
Get away from that.
To get away from it. This motorcyclist veers to the right and loses control of his bike, and I watch him go underneath the semi truck. And I watch his bike come out of the semi-truck in the left lane, tumbling down the road, sparks everywhere. And then like half a second later, I see him come out from underneath the wheels. And his body's just, bad. Real bad.
Under the wheels.
Under
You just
the
kept
wheels.
going.
I'm pretty sure. Because the thing is, God damn, this is so dark, dude. It's just like, I watch him come out from under the wheels, and he isn't in one piece.
Wait, what?
Like his arm was like ripped off from the impact, dude.
Oh my god.
It's brutal, man. Like the guy was going at least 100 miles an hour. He was going because I was going 75, 80, and I slow down to like 60 to get behind the truck, and I'm giving the truck a wide berth. So I get back up to about 70, and this guy just comes, and I mean, he's flying, and the truck gets over, and he tries to get out of the way, and he couldn't, and he fucked up, and boop, and that was it, and a done deal. He probably died. I would wager. Because pavement and the human body don't mix well. I mean, I remember being a kid and falling off my bicycle and leaving like, a 3-inch patch of skin on the concrete.
The road rash.
From my knee, you know what I mean? And then like imagine you're going 100. Just terrible.
That was a lot of... There's a lot of darkness.
Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
But goddamn. Well, maybe we should go to a fun.
Something a little more entertaining.
Let's switch.
Well, maybe not more entertaining. I'm sure that's entertaining in some regard, but
hey, it's all Florida stories.
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer for John Wick 4?
No, I never watched any of them.
Really?
Yep.
They're good.
I know. I should. I'm not opposed to it. I just never got around to it.
I've got the whole trilogy.
So there's a new one coming out?
Yeah, John Wick Chapter 4. Donnie Yen's in it again. He's the guy that plays Ip Man. He's awesome. Wing Chun, Grandmaster, legit. Very good actor.
Yeah, I'm sure it's dope. So I'm going to see what's going on with this woman that breaks... Oops, woman accidentally breaks $42,000 balloon dog sculpture at Florida Art Fair. Jeff Koons poses in front of his art. It's his artwork, his balloon dog. And a woman at a Miami, in Miami, she, it's porcelain. Oh, it looks like a balloon, but it's porcelain.
Like a giant balloon animal dog?
Yeah, but it made of porcelain and tapped the sculpture only to knock it off its pedestal and shatter it into pieces.
Oh, no.
Video of the aftermath shows I want to see the video. Oh, my God, this is so exciting. Now you see that is the new art installation because everything is art. A woman was heard saying.
Wow.
This is so weird.
What a troll. So some lady in that art studio that watched this lady reach out and touch this giant dog balloon and knock it over and shatter it.
She said she tapped on it.
She tapped on it. It fell off its pedestal, knocked it off its pedestal, and it shattered. And some asshole in there, the guy's standing there with his artwork.
There's a bigger asshole involved. Even though it was broken into pieces, it could still... The advisor told the Herald that Gamson offered to buy the balloon's dog's remains for $15 million on the spot.
$15 million? That can't be real.
That's what it says. Some guy offered to buy the remains for $15 million. I don't know. It doesn't say it's sold. While some balloon dogs sell for about $11,000, his largest balloon dog held the record for the most expensive work of art sold by a living artist. The version of the balloon dog sculpture sold for over $58 million in 2013.
Oh my God!
This balloon dog.
Why would you spend $58 million?
That's pretty cool, though.
On a porcelain.
It's a giant balloon dog porcelain balloon animal.
Shaped like a dog. That's crazy. But could you imagine like watching your hard work fall to pieces, shatter in front of you, and then some asshole's like, it's still art.
I'll take it for 15.
I'll take it for 15 million, Trebek. That's freaking nuts. Oh my gosh, dude. Did that happen in Florida too?
Yeah, these are all Florida stories.
These are all Florida stories, including the ones I've told. Those are
it's all
too.
Florida stories. That's what this is.
Man.
It's a lot. I don't know. I mean, there's some others, but it's really not. At this point, I feel like it's a lot. It's a lot of It's a lot. It's a lot to process. Which is.
It is.
All of that, and the balloons. There was a 6-year-old that shot his grandmother accidentally. That's also really the abortion thing.
The abortion thing.
Oh
we could
my
touch on
God.
that. But I just want to
so
reference
dark.
quickly that it's probably a good thing that balloon sculpture got broken, because if that crazy nativity guy was at that art exhibit, he probably would have tried to fuck that dog too.
Oh my God.
Fuck a porcelain balloon animal.
This has been so wild.
Crazy shit. Florida, calm the fuck down. What are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you doing around here?
Are we making it worse? I don't think so. I'm not trying to do that.
Not me. There's just a lot of really nutso people in Florida, man.
I think it happens all over the world. It's just...
I'm sure.
It's been branded because it is pretty prominent.
Like, in your mind's eye, like, when you just hear the term Florida man, like, what do you picture?
Like a bearded redneck...
Fat guy in a...
Maybe... No, not even... No, like skin... Like gaunt.
Gaunt,
Kind of like me, but like with
like a beer guy.
Yeah, like more like... I don't know.
Like a skinny but fat guy at the same time.
And then...
Got like the American flag t-shirt on.
Yeah.
With like shit-stained whitey tighties. Riding an alligator.
Oh, riding an alligator. I mean...
Florida man.
That's one hell of a feat,
I
I would think.
I've wrestled a few alligators. They're not too hard to deal with. You got to stay away from the head and the tail. That's all. Because the tail's strong enough, it'll break your legs. And then, I mean, of course, their bite force. They have like 3,000 psi bite force.
That's a lot.
Which is pounds per square inch for those watching at home. That doesn't know what that means.
I think most people.
So that means in every single square inch, 3,000 pounds. That's insane. That's like, 60-mile-an-hour car crash, basically. But the great thing, though, is that their jaws are basically a snap trap because where the tendons are. So if their mouth is closed, you can literally just take a piece of duct tape.
I saw that
twice
in the
around their snout.
I saw that in the news. That's another Florida story. I didn't include it, but I saw
the gator that's had its mouth taped shut since last year.
Yeah, something like that.
Why don't you cut it off? I mean, come on.
Who did that?
Some asshole. It didn't properly.
How is it eating?
It's not, but it's a
So
dinosaur.
how is it still alive?
It's a dinosaur, man. They can live a long time without eating. I used to have a pet ball python. I only had to feed that thing. There wasn't a ball python. I had a corn snake. Little corn snake. I had a lavender corn snake. I only kept it for like maybe 6 months. But I only had to feed that thing once every month and a half. And I only had to feed it a mouse like that big. So reptiles can live a long time without eating. Way longer than people or any mammal. Because their metabolisms are so low.
Cold blood.
Got that cold blood. But yeah, gators, if you get on top of them, I mean, you just wrap their mouth up 2 times and they're pretty much harmless at that point.
Ride them like a horse?
Ride them like a horse. Don't slap it on the ass, though.
Yeah, or else you might get a misdemeanor from the police.
Yeah. That's what they should do in Florida is have alligator riding police officers.
That would be so FloridaCool.
That would be FloridaCool right there. That'd be wild. Can you imagine getting pulled over by one of them guys?
That's what it is. Hashtag FloridaCool.
Yeah.
Well,
goodness.
I think that's a great summation of everything that just happened. Riding a gator as a police officer. FloridaCool. That was insane.